This next edge is a simple hand-tooled leaf. I just love leaf laces, so here I go again making another leafed lace. This would be ideal for your bulky or mid-gauge. Keep in mind that this is an 18-row repeat. I have marked my needle bed. I'm on needle number 9 on the left, but you can have as many needles as you want on the left. They're just going to be plain stockinette. And then on the right, I have 3 marks that are of interest. I have a C mark. Mine is on 1 left, needle number 1 left. And then I have an N mark, and that is on needle number right 3. And then I have a W mark, and that is on needle number right 7. This is the widest. W stands for widest, the widest the edging gets. This is the narrowest, that's what the N is, the narrowest the edging gets. And C is the center stitch. I'm going to go ahead and cast on and get started. I've E-wrapped on with 2 strands of yarn. Row counter 0, 0, 0. I'm setting my tension, and I'm knitting 2 rows. I'm going to pull out the end needles just to help it knit until I have enough room to put a weight on. Okay, now I'm going to put a weight on. I put on a weight. The edging begins down here with some stitches decreased into this center stitch. So this is the center stitch right here. And we start by moving 4 stitches to the right of the center inward and 4 stitches to the left of the center inward. We're also going to move the 2 edge stitches. These are the ones that go away. This is where the decrease and increase happens, so it gets narrower and wider. And I'm using a tool that has 2 prongs because that's an easy way to do all of these things that are in pairs. And I'm going to move these 2 into the center. If I had a 4-stitch tool, I could do it with 4 stitches at once. I'm moving these 2 into the center. Now notice that the end needle, which was decreased, has to be put back out of work. But this needle, which has been emptied, is left in work to make an eyelet. These 2 move to the right. Now there are 3 stitches on this center needle, and these 2 move to the right as well. Knit 2 rows. Row counter 4. And I'm going to go ahead and move in the 2 needles on the far right, find my center stitch, and move 3 to the right of my center stitch and 3 to the left of my center stitch in. So using that same tool, I can move 2 over. Now this was my decrease, so that needle must go out of work. Move these 3 toward the center stitch by 1 step. Move these 3 toward the center stitch by 1 step. Now there are 3 stitches on the center stitch. Knit 2 rows. Row counter 6. This time I'm moving in the 2 needles from the edge, no surprise there, to the right and left of the center stitch. This is the center stitch. I'm moving in 2 needles. So I'm going to use my double transfer tool and get all of this one done. This is the decrease, so the empty needle must go back out of work. This needle's an eyelet. It needs to be left in work. So does that empty needle. Knit 2 rows. I'm on row 8. Now this time I'm going to move the 2 in for a decrease, find my center stitch, which is here, move 1 to its right, 1 to its left. So for this, I'll be happier with the 2 and 1 tool. So I'm going to go ahead and move these 2 in, get rid of that end needle because we're decreasing, move this toward the center stitch, 2 on the center stitch, move this toward the center stitch. Now there are 3 on the center stitch. Knit 2 rows. Now I'm going to move out. So I'm going to move these 2 needles out for an increase, and I'll use my double transfer tool to do that. I do all the increase rows with the double transfer tool. Now to make the eyelet on the other side of my leaf, I need to move 2 needles over here. I'm going to leave 3 needles, 1 on each side of the center stitch, and move these 2. Knit 2 rows, row counter 12. Now I'm going to increase again over here. Have to bring out an extra needle. And then my center stitch is here, and I need to have 2 needles to the right of it, 2 needles to the left. So I skip 5 and move these 2 stitches this way. This makes that eyelet on the other side of the leaf. Knit 2 rows, row counter 14. Increase, here's my center stitch. I have 3 on either side of it, so a total of 7 are skipped before I do a move. Also, as you do this, you'll get to where you know what to move over here by looking at these holes. Knit 2 rows. This is my last increase. You see the W? That's as wide as it's going to get. Then over here, 4 stitches to the left of the center stitch and 4 stitches to the right of the center stitch. That makes 9. So I move these 2 over to make that last eyelet. Having one of my clumsy moments. There we go. Alright, so now I have my width all the way out. I've completed 1 whole repeat, and I go back to the first part of this. So I knit the 2 rows. That's my 18, and now I'm going to start over with my decreases. So remember, I decreased the 2 on the right, and then I skipped a needle and I brought in 4, and that's my center stitch, and I brought in 4 on this side toward the center stitch. The two-prong tool is good for this. Push that needle out of work because this is a decrease row. Knit 2 rows, and I'm going to repeat that same first pattern, bringing in 2, then the 3 on either side of the center stitch. And I have to always remember to get rid of the extra needle. So it's decrease and then it's increase. Makes the leaf, makes the pretty little edge up the side. And I'll finish this and come back on camera and show you the 2 complete repeats of the pattern. So here I have 2 complete repeats of the pattern. Let me pull that out because the weight's pulling it down. You see it starts wide, then goes narrow, then goes wide, then goes narrow. And I hope you'll try it. Be sure to watch this a little bit before you put it on a project. It takes a little practice to be able to read the knitting and see exactly what to do.